Hey everyone, almost 2 years ago, I compared the SoundPEATS Air 3 to the AirPods 3, and they got ridiculously close to the quality of the AirPods at a quarter of the price. So I was super excited when I saw SoundPEATS release their updated version, the Air 4. So will they get even closer to the quality of the AirPods, maybe even surpass them? Well, we're gonna find out here because as usual, we're going in depth. Now let's start with the build quality. Of course, the AirPods have a more premium feel. I've used mine heavily for over a year. I've dropped them at least 100 times. They're a bit scratched up, but they work completely fine. The Air 4 look a little bit strange with the random glossy plastic on the inside of the driver, but overall feel very solid and decently built. Now the ergonomics are very similar to the AirPods 3. You can see where SoundPEATS was getting their inspiration. The stem on the Air 4 is longer, but the top half of the bud is very similar in size. The AirPods fit me great. I can wear them for hours on end with no issues. I've used them when weight training. They're my go-to running earbud. So the Air 4 feels pretty much exactly the same. The driver shaft is slightly more pointy, so I do feel that, but it's incredibly close. I wouldn't say one is more comfortable than the other. This is just how they fit me though. I have slightly larger ears and ear canals. So when it comes to the semi-in-ear style of earbud, you pretty much won't know until you try the earbud for yourself. Now, when it comes to the IPX rating, you get an IPX4 water resistance on both earbuds, and the AirPods case also has an IPX4 rating. When it comes to case and battery life, you're getting an advertised 6 hours with the earbuds, 30 hours in total on the AirPods 3, also 6 hours from the buds on the Air 4, 26 hours in total with the case. And in my test at 60% volume, I got 7 hours and 32 minutes on the AirPods, 4 hours and 14 minutes on the Air 4. Now, this is because they actually use noise canceling. Probably should have mentioned this. Now you will get over 6 hours of battery if you don't have noise cancelling on, but trust me when I say, you're gonna wanna have noise cancelling on because it massively affects the sound quality. And I'll talk about that shortly. Now the AirPods start to show their price tag here. You get wireless charging, MagSafe charging, fast charge, chuck the buds in the case, 5 minutes will give you an hour's playback. On the Air 4, you get none of those features, and the case is noticeably larger, but mainly thicker. So you're gonna notice it in your pocket a little bit more. Still, it's not the most chunky case out there, but an easy win for the AirPods in this round. When it comes to controls though, it's a little bit closer here because the Air 4 allow you to control everything, play, pause, skipping tracks, turning your game mode on, volume up and down, and toggling noise cancelling on and off. The only issue with them is because they have noise cancelling that's stuck to the long hold on the left earbud, so you aren't able to skip tracks back and you get no customization of the controls in the app. The Air 3 allows for control of everything except volume, but you do have the always on Siri, which is very handy, as well as in-ear detection to automatically pause and play your music. And in-ear detection was actually on the old version of the earbuds, the Air 3, so they took it away on the Air 4. Honestly, don't know why. Now, in terms of connectivity on the Air 4, you're getting Bluetooth 5.3, as well as the aptX lossless codec. Not a very common codec. Not a lot of phones actually use it, so I don't have a phone that uses it, but going off all the information online, it seems like aptX lossless will give you high quality streaming over LDAC high-res audio. But even then, codecs only really improve the sound quality so much. Like comparing AAC, which is what iPhones use, so that's what the AirPods 3 use. In my testing, comparing buds with AAC to LDAC, you get like a 1 to 2% improvement in sound quality. If you're using high quality streaming like Tidal, this increases by another 1, maybe 2%. So a couple of percent improvement. I'm sure aptX lossless might increase that by another 1 or 2%, but it's really not a big thing. Now the AirPods don't have any high-res codecs, but they have the advantage of being in the Apple ecosystem. I personally use my AirPods 3, AirPods Pro, AirPods Pro 2, iPhone 12 Pro, and a MacBook M1, and it just works seamlessly for me. iCloud, AirDrop, I'm pretty stuck in the ecosystem, and I won't be leaving anytime soon. Very convenient. What the Air 4 have that the AirPods don't have though is true multi-point connection. So on the Air 4, it doesn't matter what device you are using, you can connect 2 devices to the earbuds at the same time. It's not as seamless as the Apple ecosystem with the seamless switching. All you need to do on the Air 4 is pause playback on one device before you resume it on the other device, and it works great in my testing. Now, in terms of latency with watching videos, both pairs are completely fine. When it comes to gaming, if you're using AirPods on an iPhone, you're getting close to 200 milliseconds. On an Android device, closer to 280 milliseconds. Still some of the best latency out there. The Air 4 do have a low latency gaming mode. Here are the detailed results in my test on both iOS and Android, so you can see the differences. Generally, for casual games, 400 milliseconds is fine. You want to get closer to 200 milliseconds for faster reaction games like shooters. But now let's head outside and see what the call quality sounds like this is super close. I think the Air 4 block out background noise a bit better, but the AirPods 3 do come across a bit clearer. But here are the samples so you can hear for yourself. All right, so starting the test here with my iPhone 12 Pro microphone, so you get an idea of the noise going on around me. All right, so here is the call quality of the SoundPEATS Air 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here is the call quality of the AirPods 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, before we talk about what's most important sound quality, if you're enjoying this comparison, please chuck a like down there because it really does help the video and the channel out. Now, starting with volume here, both pairs go ridiculously loud. They're actually pretty equal across the board. So from 0% all the way to 100%, clicking them up at the same time, they basically stay at the same decibel range. So a tie there, but now onto the sound itself. Before I talk about the sound, I need to touch up on the noise canceling on the Air 4. Now, I wouldn't really call it noise canceling, it's more of just an EQ shift, because in my test with all frequency ranges, low volumes, high volumes, noise canceling on compared to off, I did not notice any noise being canceled. What it does do though is completely change the way the buds sound, basically doubling the amount of bass it pushes out, and they sound miles better with noise canceling on compared to noise canceling off. So I'm going to talk about the sound here with noise canceling on, and throwing it back to the battery life situation. This is why you'd want to always have noise canceling on. So the Air 4 with noise canceling on have some seriously impressive bass for a semi-in-ear style of earbud, easily surpassing the previous buds, the Air 3 and the Air 3 Deluxe HS. And the biggest difference is when it comes to sub bass, which is where the Air 3 buds were lacking. When it came to mid bass, they were fine, but the Air 4 pushing out some seriously thumping deep bass. And the amount of bass you are getting and the overall quality of it is coming seriously close to the AirPods 3, which are the best semi-in-ear earbud that I've tested when it comes to bass and overall sound quality. The AirPods 3 still have slightly more sub bass, about 5 to 10% more, but when it comes to mids, treble and soundstage, this is where the AirPods 3 really start to separate themselves from the Air 4. Because the mid-range you're getting on the AirPods, vocals come through a lot clearer, richer, and more natural. The treble is also more detailed, you get more sparkle, and it doesn't get harsh at any volume. Where on the Air 4, when you start venturing above 60 to 70% volume, treble gets a little bit harsh and a little bit messy. You're also getting a much wider and open soundstage on the AirPods. And the way I'm explaining the sound here is with the Air 4 optimized in the EQ customization you get in the SoundPEATS app. Because out of the box, I feel like they need a bit of tweaking. Here's the EQ customization that I think makes them sound a lot better. I feel like they need a lot of boosting in the mids because they are quite recessed. I increased the sub bass a little bit and I'm dialing down that treble to reduce how harsh it gets. And this does improve the sound very slightly, but the EQ can only do so much. So overall, the Air 4 still sound great. AirPods 3, just sound better. I'd say it's about 25% better, mainly when it comes to the clarity, which is pretty funny because in my previous video, the SoundPEATS Air 3 versus AirPods 3, I said the same thing because back then it was a bass that was most lacking on the Air 3, but the mids and treble held up a lot closer. After that video, SoundPEATS released the Air 3 Deluxe HS, which has LDAC high-res audio, but it also sounds slightly better as well. So with the Air 4, SoundPEATS massively caught up in the bass department, but they did fall behind in the clarity department. Still, if I was to either choose the Air 3 Deluxe HS or the Air 4, I would personally go for the Air 4. I like my bass. But despite a few shortcomings on the Air 4, they're still a great budget option to get over the AirPods. And if you want something a bit cheaper, so is the Air 3 Deluxe HS if mids and clarity are more of what you're looking for. AirPods 3, still the GOAT though. But if you want a more detailed video on the Air 4, and I compared it to the Air 4 Lite, another version you probably want to stay away from, and I compared it to the Air 3 as well, check out the video here. In the meantime, stay picky, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.